Okay, welcome to another episode of Tennis Volley Talk with Brian Danielson. Hey, today I have yet another tennis tennis aficionado, in a sense. Uh, uh, and I've been talking it's third week in a row. I've been talking to tennis people around Texas, learning a little bit more about the history of Texas tennis, which has always been enjoyable for me to do. And today I have Ruben Vargas, and a tennis player throughout Texas, tennis coach through his years of tennis, and then also doing tournament director as far as running tournaments too. And Ruben, thank you for joining me on Tennis Volley Talk today.
Hey, it's an honor to be on this. That's awesome. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, you're so welcome. So, as I had talked to you earlier and kind of get this set up, you had been running a tennis tournament there in Lubbock, Texas. So how'd that go? Was it a big turnout with the tournament then and everything?
What it is, it's it's spring tennis, which is an individual competition amongst we have 6 classes, 1A through 6A, and 6A being the biggest. And so it's a playoff system. We have district and then regionals and then state. Well, for the past, I don't know how many years, I help another coach run the Region 1, 4A, and 5A, regional tennis tournaments at Texas Tech University. So we've done that for quite a few years. So the top 3 finishers in 5 different events then qualify for the University Interscholastic League State Tennis Tournament, which is happening this Thursday and Friday.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big tournament as far as advancing for the chance to win a state championship in tennis from 1A all the way through 6A, the large schools.
Oh my gosh. And especially.
So, and it was busy. We had, obviously a bunch of people coming through in 4 days.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's a neat thing. For me, it's neat because I get to see a bunch of old coaches.
Oh, absolutely.
So I really enjoy that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Get to see what they've been up to and everything, and all the coaches, and but then also with that to have the prestige and in Texas being, because it's such nice weather all the way around. So many kids nowadays they just have the opportunity to play all the time in Texas. Me being here in Minnesota.
What part of Texas?
Yeah, well, it depends on.
Winters are rough.
Sometimes they can be. Not as rough as here in Minnesota, though.
No. We're not talking Minnesota, Michigan. No. But I coached in the Texas Panhandle, and I lived there. And trust me, there was times where we didn't get on the courts for a month because it was just, icy or snow, and it was just bitter cold.
Just bitter cold. No, I know. It can get bitter cold here. A lot of snow. Of course, this last winter wasn't too bad, though. It wasn't too bad this winter. So, do you also run or do like regular tennis tournaments around the Texas area, or is it just within the school area?
The only one now that I'm retired, I don't. When I was coaching, obviously, I ran several tournaments, district tournaments, even regional team tournaments and stuff. But once I retired in 2016, I pretty much walked away, and I did coach for 33 years and gave it all I had, and I was ready to enjoy the last part of my life and just enjoy retirement. So the only thing really that I do tennis-wise is I help every year run that regional tournament.
Okay.
And I obviously still string tennis rackets for the kids around here and the community.
Oh yeah, I got my own stringer too, so I string my own rackets. But you gotta pay the person stringing the racket though. Go figure that, right?
Yeah,
I give them a discount, so. So yeah, that's always fun. That I just put the tennis channel on and I string the racket, and it just is so relaxing to me to do. Whenever I do that, it's so fun.
I usually just turn on the TV and watch them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Makes it go by a little faster.
It does. It absolutely does. So anyway, you were actually born in Texas, correct?
Correct. I was born in a small cattle town called Hereford, Texas, which is up by Amarillo. Lived there all my life. Born and raised there, and graduated high school from there, and actually coached my first 6 years there in my hometown.
Oh my gosh, that must have been a joy to do.
It really was. I mean, I was out there giving lessons, graduated, and I hadn't even done my resumes yet. I was just doing lessons like crazy.
Oh, sure.
And the high school and junior high principal walked up and asked me if I'd gotten a job yet. And I said no, because when I was in school, they were both coaches.
Okay.
And they knew me since I was a little kid. So,
sure.
Long story short, the next day they interviewed me and hired me to teach junior high science and coach junior high and high school tennis.
Oh, wow.
And so I was blessed to do that.
To actually,
and in the middle of my first year, the head coach ended up having to leave, and they moved me to interim tennis coach and interim head coach, excuse me. And then the next year, I became the official head coach.
Oh, so, that must have been such a joy.
I got thrown into the fire right away.
Oh, I'm sure. And then you had to come up with, the roster and everything like that with all the kids and stuff like that.
The roster and the tennis that bothered me. It was all the business office side and bus transportation. And it was just a lot of stuff that I had no idea how to do that.
Oh,
and
gosh.
I was taught how to do it. And now, obviously, it was easier every year.
Oh, so. Yeah, easier. Yeah, as the years went by, it just made it easier and kind of knew the people and had the ways and means, ins and outs of things like that too. But that must have been, even with that coaching, your high school that you played with. So as you were growing up and coming from such a big family, 5 sisters and 2 brothers?
Yeah, there was 8 of us.
8 of you.
I was number 7 of 8.
Oh, my gosh.
A huge family. And my dad had to work 3 jobs just to put food on the table.
Oh, my goodness.
God bless his heart. We never were without food or clothes or shelter. I mean, the guy and my mom also did such a just fantastic job of raising 8 kids.
Oh, my gosh, yes. And then, I mean, 7 of 8 kids, I mean, in growing up, I mean, what kind of got you looking into tennis, or was it the old guys at the court that you saw hitting and you decided to hit with them and it got the bug in you?
Brian, I did a lot of motivational speaking through my high school coaching days too, and the best story I have is this one that I'm about to tell you.
Oh, good.
I was a baseball player.
Oh, my gosh.
League, minor league, major league, pony league. We had an all-star team, American Legion, and I was on those teams. Baseball was my life.
Oh, right.
And back then, 9th grade was still junior high, and 10th grade was high school. So you had to try out that summer before your 10th grade. So, I mean, I had no problem. I knew everybody was trying out, and for the most part, I was as good, if not better, than most of them. So I figured I'd make the JV team at least.
Oh, at least.
Long story short, sometimes life and God has different ideas for you, because I did not make either team.
How dare that?
I went home just crying like a baby. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm too small for football. I'm too small for basketball. Just got cut from the baseball team. I didn't make the team to get cut, as a matter of fact. I had nothing to do. So my 2 older brothers, which are twins, but they were in different grades, but they both played tennis. And so why don't you just play tennis?
Okay.
And I'm going to say this because I was honest God, I said, why am I going to play tennis, man? Tennis is for sissies. Of course, I was just saying that because they're my big brothers. You know,
yeah, of course.
We give each other hearts. And so they said, well, you got another choice. You're too slow to, run track. And I said, besides, I've never played tennis in my life.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, call Coach Thomas. And he'll let you in JV, teach how to play. So I had another friend that ended up doing the same thing, and he let us on, and we just lived on the tennis court.
Oh, absolutely.
Long story short, we started on JV. By semester, he moved us up to varsity.
Oh, my gosh.
And the rest is history. 3 years later, I was walking on to play at West Texas State University.
Oh, my God.
At that time was a D1 school.
Oh, my God.
It was just because I was so committed to the game. I worked at it day and night, and just fell in love with it.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, me too. I kind of grew up on my high school courts. And, well, actually, it was back in early about 68, 67, 68, when I started with my two friends of mine. Mom said, "You're always here. Go find something to do." And I went, "Okay." And me and my two friends got into tennis, and then it was morning, noon, and night. Tennis.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
later on, my mom goes, "We never see you. What? How come you're not around?" "I got tennis. Sorry, I gotta go. I'm going to the tennis court."
You wanted me to go get time, and I did.
I did.
Yeah. But you know, the whole thing about those motivation speeches was, you know, sometimes you get something happens to you that you think is devastating and terrible, but not knowing that's going to end up being the best thing that happened to you. And now, you know, it was my life. The worst day of my life, not knowing, actually became the best day of my life.
Oh gosh,
it
yeah.
completely changed my path in life and my outlook on life. And that message I gave to all my tennis players and even and students in the classroom. So don't let a bad thing slow you down. It's just probably the start of something good about to happen.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And then with that, then I then went on to the high school, and then of course back then, high school kid, young, me and my doubles partner, we ended up kind of being befriended by the old guys at the tennis court there, which were white cement courts, yellow painted lines, and the chain link fence.
Oh yeah.
And it was like fast as all get out. You had to hit that ball in front of you. Don't let it get behind, in front.
No. Yeah. And, you know, we had guys that were older than us, and even gentlemen that lived in the community that by the time they found out we were tennis players, they would take us to tournaments in the summer.
Oh, sure.
We were poor. We didn't have the money to do it. And now that I realize they helped pay for meals.
Oh, gosh,
they
yeah.
Paid for entry fee. They just took care of us.
Oh, yeah.
They were a big part of my success.
Oh,
they really were.
And it was those old guys that were such a founding people that in your tennis career that were so nice, and what a best group of tennis guys that you could grow up with, being a young person, and to have them take you under their wing and then play. I mean, many weekends on a Saturday, you get there at 8:30 in the morning, and all the courts, all four courts, would be filled with doubles, and all the people playing, all the old guys. And then, you know, you'd wait a little bit. "Hey, I got to go. Come on and fill in." And you'd fill in. And if anybody was around and didn't know anybody to get on the court, nobody would get a court until like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it was just
good old days.
Yeah. Those were just fantastic days. And plus, and plus being able to think that we're hot shots and we can beat these old guys. Lo and behold, the angle soft shots and lobs, it was like, what the heck's going on?
They knew way more about the game than we did back then, and I learned a lot from them, for that too. So,
gosh, it was just amazing. Yeah, it's amazing just to be able to grow up like that with those guys too. As far as that, and and with that, with me, I'm in my third year of the podcast here, and just like I tell the audience, the YouTube audience, like, subscribe, and comment, and then also with you, I do a racket of the day too. I show one of my rackets too here.
I noticed you have a whole bunch of them behind you.
Yeah, I do. It's some of my mini 250 racket collection.
Oh my gosh! Well, I gotta tell you what. There's a tennis buddy of mine. I don't know if he has that many, but he's close to it.
Oh gosh, yeah. One of my oldest rackets, March 8th, 1908.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's a collector. It's one of my oldest. And and then I kind of give the little history behind it. That one's a dreadnought driver of my oldest racket, but the history behind that was that Revolutionary World War I and II, the battleships were only allowed big guns for their fleets. Those big gun ships were called dreadnoughts. So I have the dreadnought driver of the racket.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So that's kind of the little brief history of that. But it's love doing any of this stuff, and then learning the history and everything within tennis since I've been playing. I've been playing for over 50 years myself, but I probably didn't quite have the hand-eye coordination as like a lot of people just kind of pick it up, and like you went on to varsity and went on to Texas and playing on singles there, and just having kind of a little ability because you worked at it really hard. I did too, but I didn't quite have the hand eye or whatever it was, but I've acquired my game, which has become a pretty good game. And I still get out and play singles at my age at 69. I still get out and play the young bucks in singles at 40, 41 years old, and I'm still playing them in singles.
Yeah. Those days are gone for me because I've had two knee replacements.
Oh,
they don't bend quite like they used to. And as long as I can play golf and walk, I'm in good shape.
So I
can play golf and I can walk.
So that's good. That's good. And then later on in your career, and you went on to another high school that you were a head coach at?
Yes.
In Vernon?
After 6 years there in Hereford, I married my wife. She's from Oklahoma.
Oh, really?
So
okay.
We wanted to find a place. Yeah. She's from Oklahoma. So we wanted a place that was kind of between both our homes. And this area was that place. And just as luck would have it, the coach here, I was a friend of mine, and he was moved to an administrative position. So he called me, said the job's open, and here I am. And they got her a job. So we thought it would be a few years, but we managed to, we moved here in the summer of 1989.
Okay.
And here we still are. Retired.
There you go.
For 9 years, and we're still here.
Where in Oklahoma was your wife from?
She was from Perry, Oklahoma.
Oh,
which
Perry.
Is about an hour north of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I know Perry, yeah.
Famous for a lot of things, but the most famous things, the guy that did the Oklahoma City bombing was arrested on I-35 in Perry.
In Perry, oh gosh, yeah.
That's where he was kept in jail for the longest time until, they got him out and all the other good stuff that happened.
Oh gosh, yeah, craziness there. But yeah, no, I myself, I grew up in Tulsa, like I said, and Perry's that for sure. Oh yeah, and myself, there was a tennis facility there in Tulsa, along with all the high school courts, which were really nice, and the parks and stuff now are kind of all dilapidated. But the nicer place now is the go-to place in Tulsa was La Fortune Tennis Center. And that was the big hoopla with all the tournaments that came through, and the Tulsa Tribune and the Tulsa World tennis tournaments. And there was at least sometimes over 1,000 people for the week of playing a tennis tournament. Yeah. And just unbelievable. I've just
traveled through Tulsa. I've never been to see those tennis facilities, but I'm sure they're nice.
Oh, they are really nice. They actually have three indoor courts that they made, and they're going to make two or three more indoor tennis courts and add some more off on another side of it and add more courts. So, and it's really reasonable cost to get on the courts during, it's like $10-12 for an hour of play,
that's great.
To get out there, and really cheap and reasonable. A little bit more for the inside and everything, but what a facility it has turned into over the years from just a block building pro shop and stringing rackets and then running the tournaments and everything like that. But I just with Vernon and having that opportunity to also then be the head coach at Vernon and then plus living there and just kind of stayed there for all these years, just kind of like you just kind of stayed in Texas.
I did, and it's a great community, and the school system here I really liked, and working with the people I worked with was great. And they really, really, really supported the tennis program here, and we went from 6 courts to 10, fully lit, and we built new courts over the old ones, and they're all post-tension courts. We have a facility for the men and women to dress in, and restrooms, a huge coach's office.
Yes.
And, they just did it right. And the parents had a lot to do. A lot of people donated $1,000 thousands and thousands of dollars, and the school kind of matched the other half. So it's a community effort to get those tennis courts built.
Oh, absolutely. And then with that, it's and the nice thing is with me, with as long as I play tennis, and if I see some people on the court that can hit the ball, but they're not good, and I go out there, like let's see, about 3 weeks ago, there was a couple of kids out there on the court, and they were hitting the ball. And I said, well, hey, if you just hold that racket down a little bit more. And then I came up to them and started talking to them, and they were consistent, and they could get the ball over the net. But what I ended up doing with that is I said, okay, you guys are consistent. You can get the ball over the net. Hold the racket down on the butt of the racket. The racket will do the work for you. You don't have to do the work. And then I said, then start with the short game. You don't have to kill the ball. Start with a short game in the service box. Just get the ball over the net so you can gain some consistency with that. And then later on, you can move back, because right now you guys are not consistent enough to actually be at the baseline, because you hit 2 shots and then the other one shanks it, and it's no fun. And then, and then I got them to start doing the short game. And then a few days later, about a week ago, the one guy, he goes, oh, hey, you're the guy that was showing me my friend tennis. And hey, we do that short game. We do the short game for about 40 minutes. And I said, great. And he goes, we are getting so consistent. And I said, you can then, and it's easier now when you move back.
Little by little.
Yeah, little by little. When you move back, you're a lot more consistent now. And he goes, we can get the ball over the net now.
That's great.
So that was just kind of like, made me feel so good.
That's what I did, coach, and now it made me feel good when you knew somebody listened and it helped.
Oh, it does.
Was just a neat feeling.
Oh, it is. It just made me feel so good to be able to help like that, and stuff, and to come up with, like, they're consistent. So yeah, start out with the short game. Don't hit it hard. Just make a game of it, and stuff. But I said, yeah, make a game of it by 10. Keep it in the one service box. Go to the other service box, and then you can go cross court in each one and make a game of it. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's
a good warm up. I noticed a lot of the high school kids, that's their warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there, so they jog and stretch and all stuff. They'll just little mini tennis, just a bump.
Oh yeah, just to kind of get warmed up.
Oh yeah, warm up.
Oh, absolutely. And then with that, I mean, now I was talking to you there. Do you also have a podcast, you said?
Yeah, we've had our podcast. I guess it's going just a year now. But,
okay.
But yeah, we a younger coach and I
mm-hmm.
and my daughter we have the Texas Tennis Coaches Association convention in early December, and it's a resort, Horseshoe Bay.
Oh, okay.
It's a beautiful resort
mm-hmm.
that our convention's at. And they have a neat little circular bar area where you can eat and have a few drinks.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the 360 bar. But we're sitting there eating and having a drink, and we're talking, and the young coach says, I've always wanted to have a podcast. I'm like, you should do that. She goes, yeah, but I'm not really experienced, like,
mm-hmm.
kind of like you are. I'm like, where are you going with this? She goes, hey, why don't we both do it? I'm like, oh, man. I'm a nice guy. Sure. I thought
sure, why not?
Yeah, but she didn't forget about it. So,
okay.
Long story short, we're doing one, and it's basically based. It's called the Texas Tennis Coaches Podcast.
Oh, cool!
And we basically interview Texas coaches.
Okay.
And we just my big thing is everybody has a story.
Oh, sure.
And the stories is what we want to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
How the story of their life, the story how they got into tennis,
mm-hmm.
the story of how it's affected their life,
mm-hmm.
the lives of the kids that they coached, even their own family lives. I mean, we've I don't know how many podcasts we've had. Probably I have no idea, not terrible, I don't even know the number, but every single coach has had a great story.
Oh, sure.
That's similar, but mm-hmm. completely different from each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the part that we love about it the most, just to hear their story and
oh gosh, yeah,
the effect that they have on the lives of young kids.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really neat. And we have it's on audio, and it's also on we have a video that goes with it too, so you can see the actual people.
Sure.
On the podcast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, with me, I mean, I'll volunteer if you want to give me a call from, have a guy in Minnesota talking tennis.
Yeah, I have to talk to my co-host because she's really busy. She's qualified some kids for the state tournament, so she's busy with that. But I'm actually going to go, God willing, tomorrow and be at the tournament Thursday, Friday, and do some podcasting with coaches and maybe kids or parents, tournament directors, and just talk to different people, just to get people from other states that don't realize how big tennis is here in Texas.
Oh, sure.
And see how it goes. People, up in the United States, we do team tennis and individual tennis here. They look at them like, we need team tennis. What's that? We do team tennis. They don't do it like we do, promise you. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty awesome. And so I like to get that out to just the world to see how we play tennis here in Texas.
Gosh, absolutely.
I think it really is.
Oh, yeah. I've had the opportunity over my lifetime, back in the day, 35 millimeter camera, taking pictures of the Bank of Oklahoma tournament, Connors and Stan Smith, Bob Lutz, the Gullickson twins, Roscoe Tanner, all those guys that I took pictures of over the years, and many tournaments and exhibitions I went to. I've had the opportunity to talk to the head pro at Newport, Rhode Island Tennis Hall of Fame, and interviewed him. Interviewed the head tennis coach at Newcomb's Tennis Ranch in New Brunswick. And
that's where we had our convention forever.
Oh my gosh, that must be a heck of a facility.
And John Newcomb, I met him twice because he never was there. But a couple of times he'd show up, and on Friday, Saturday nights at the bar, he'd bring a bunch of Foster's beer.
Oh, that's right.
He was all the coaches. It was pretty cool.
That's right. That's right. Here you go, Mike.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I've had picture. I do have picture of Newcomb too in exhibition matches with Borg also. Yeah. And then some of my interviews I've had, I did interviewed actually Cullen Robertson of the day, that was an Australian tennis player from Sydney. He ended up going to Oklahoma City on a scholarship on tennis, and lived in Oklahoma for 42 years.
Wow.
And he even wrote a book on Oklahoma tennis too. So that was a good interview.
You said all that when I was coaching in Hereford my first 6 years. They had an exhibition between John McEnroe and Vitas Carolitis indoor at the Amarillo Civic Center. And the guy that was doing it decided it'd be kind of cool to get all the area tennis coaches to be line judges and stuff. So I got to call lines for McEnroe and Carolitis.
Oh, there you go.
In the exhibition, and that was a dream come true.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I love both of those players at that time.
Oh, gosh, yeah. And didn't Vitas, he had such a pure, beautiful game anyway.
So smooth,
Oh, my gosh, his volleys, the way he just got positioned for his volleys and everything, just unbelievable.
You know what I noticed the most is you see him play on TV, and even live you see him play, but when you're right there on the court, the speed, I mean, Garrett Elias with his shot, that there's no way McEnroe's going to get there. And not only does he get there, he sets up to hit the ball. Yeah. He's not diving for it or reaching. It's like that's the thing that impressed me about both of them. Just the speed and agility.
Oh, absolutely.
Was
it was.
Absolutely incredible.
And you got to know Vitas was turning, when he retired, he was turning into such a, I loved listening to Vitas when he was doing commentary on the U.S. Open.
Yes.
He would have been the most, he would have been such a good commentator, because not only did he know the game.
John McEnroe is.
Yeah, John McEnroe is great too.
Oh my gosh.
And I've had the opportunity to see him and Connors in an exhibition, and the Ili Nasasi and Vitas Carolitis. And of all things, guess who the two guest people that played the doubles with them were? Vince Van Patten. And
I remember that.
Yeah. And then Dean Paul Martin Jr. was a great tennis player too.
Yes, I do kind of remember that.
And I got pictures of both of those guys too, and on the court and everything. So I've just had the plethora of having the opportunity to be able to take those kind of pictures over the years too. And with that, but it just amazing in itself to be able to have that opportunity. And back then it was a lot easier, instead of having all the barcodes and the pictures and what's your blood type to even get down on the court or anything. And everything, but it's just kind of
seeing all these names. It just reminds me of all the great speakers we had at our convention.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been incredible. We just had this last year. John was our
John, Big John, yes.
And you talk about a great speaker. It was just amazing.
Oh my gosh!
And he was actually subbing for somebody else that got sick and couldn't come. But man, Wilson Sporting Goods is our big sponsor, and boy, they took care of us really, really good. So getting to hear his stories was just awesome. Patrick McEnroe was there a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
we've had some really good speakers come and talk to us. So
oh gosh, yeah,
it's a great convention. You need to make an effort to come sometime just to see it and believe it.
Oh
it's
gosh,
pretty amazing.
That would be so cool. I mean, and like I said, I'm always here if you wanted to give me a call on my podcast. Me be the interview.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah,
we try to stay ahead of 2 or 3 coaches to let them know.
Yeah.
To kind of prepare for it. So
sure.
I've got 2 or 3 coaches in front of you, but after this weekend, I'm gonna talk to my co-host.
Oh, good.
Her name is Amanda Sterling, and
okay,
she is awesome. I like her, and she does a great job.
Oh gosh, yeah. But with that, now those YouTubers, be sure and like, subscribe, and comment there. You podcasters, you're going to see the racket of the day coming up here pretty quick. Also, if you want to take a look at the racket, you can always go to the podcast, Tennis Volley Talk, and take a look at the racket that I'm going to be talking about here. But yeah, with this, actually, here it is. It's actually, of all things, a Wilson racket, of all things. And these strings at the top and bottom right here, these strings, and how it is, these were used actually as like string savers, like the dampeners they have now.
Yes.
And now they were used, that was back then the common way of being string savers, so the strings wouldn't move as much. And
I never knew that until later on. But
yeah,
that's exactly right.
And then when you spun, you would have the knots on one side and smooth on the other, and rough or smooth. Okay, whoever won that part of it too. And with Wilson too, it actually originally known as Ashland Manufacturing out of Chicago. It was a subsidiary of Schwarzschild and Sulzberger meatpacking company, and they kind of got into the sporting goods trade by using animal products for the gut strings for the rackets.
Oh, yeah,
and that's how they became, in that era of kind of getting into the sporting goods part of it too. And they say, but the leading it was founded somewhere about 1914 in Chicago, of all things, and they were in with the manufacturing high end products of the rackets and the clothes and the shoes and everything by Wilson also. And then, of course, Thomas Wilson was a founder, and he's the one in about 1926 that actually brought Wilson Sporting Goods to worldwide attention, and then just became, known for making the Wilson tennis rackets. And this racket here is called the Squire racket, is what it's called. And actually, the person that they actually that sponsored with this was Frank Sedgman, Australian tennis player.
Okay, I don't think I remember that one.
Yeah, and he was born October 29th, 1927. He's still alive at 97 years old.
What a man. What a man.
I know. And he's a former #1 Australian player and won 5 Grand Slams as an amateur, 22 doubles Grand Slams, turned pro in 53 and won Wembley professional indoor tournament in 53 and 58, and then Sydney in 58, and then Melbourne in 59, and won Grand Prix of Europe in 1959 also. So he was a very prolific Australian tennis player, but still to be alive, one of the few out there that are still around today.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, this is still a really good racket, still very straight. And, if the strings weren't too old, you could actually maybe hit a volley with it too, but not very hard.
Have you ever played nowadays? We used to have wooden racket tournaments here.
Oh, I was
probably your 60 old framers and
yes,
and just all kinds. And some of them had the original strings, some had to restring, but we have them, and boy, the kids absolutely loved it.
Oh, they are, though. I do hit with some old rackets myself. I hit with the old VOLLEY racket, the wood VOLLEY racket. I've hit with that. That's a hammer. Oh my gosh, that is a hammer of a racket.
Yeah.
But this racket's still pretty good.
We did have a couple of the Wilson T2000s and 3000s, I think. But
yeah,
the kids just were amazed that they made those rackets back then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then with this, it kind of taught you having these rackets then too. And it just said it was used by Frank Sedgman for tournament play. Of course, that wasn't used by him, but still, that's kind of what they say on it too. But yeah, it kind of gives you the idea with the wood rackets. You gotta have a little bit more of a finesse, and you don't have to hit it harder, but you can direct it in a little bit more directional with a lot of your shots too. So it's a lot of angle shots. A lot of angle shots that you have to hit. So yeah, this racket's still a very good racket, and it's pretty heavy too, very sturdy racket too. And with this, it has the cloth on it and the stripe. This probably racket here is probably around about, I would say probably 1950s, early 50s to right about 60 is what it is in that era. With that racket. So that was the racket of the day there for you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Learned a lot.
Yeah. So, with that, it just is amazing, having the opportunity to be able to be able to have the tennis in my life whenever I got it in and started playing when I did, and plus learning the game, and then now having it kind of come fruition with showing the 2 young kids and having the one guy tell me that it's helped them so much. And it just made me feel so good to be able to do that. And
well, you got to keep it going by passing it on to the younger kids.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you
so
do.
Gorgeous.
Oh, absolutely.
And coaching, we always told these coaches that everything you learn from somebody else. So be willing to share your knowledge to the younger coaches and let them keep it going, because it's so important.
Oh, it is. It very much is to understand that aspect of it too. And like I said, with me being in my 3rd year, I just always have loved doing the research with everything I do, and then getting the phone interviews like I did and like I do.
Right.
Some other, some are out one of these days I just hope to get a tennis pro on, and so I can interview them, but who knows, one day it might happen.
I actually coached against the tennis pro while I was in the Panhandle.
Oh.
Alex O'Brien played at Amarillo
High
School, and he was Davis Cup player, and I think he what his highest singles ranking was, but I know he got to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open one year, because I remember sitting in here, popcorn and Coke, watching him play and thinking, I even played twice against him.
I played him.
He was an 8th grader. I think I was 7th or 8th grader. I was graduate from college, and he beat me in the 3rd set.
Oh my gosh!
I thought this was going to be good. Not realizing he was going to be, NCAA singles and doubles champion at where was he? I think he went to I don't want to lie. I don't want to say the wrong school. It was in California. I wanted to say I'm not gonna lie because I'm not gonna say. But anyway, I actually got to see him play doubles at the U.S. Open. A great story. Probably don't have time to tell that right now, but it was cool. I didn't think he'd remember me, but he did because I coached against him. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, actually, last year, it was, speaking of U.S. Open, last year I went to Fan Appreciation Week at the U.S. Open. And that was so fun. Right away, I got into Arthur Ashe Stadium. And right off the bat, I see Djokovic and Zverev.
Oh my gosh.
And they're practicing and hitting. And then right after that, I see Madison Keys and Katie Bolter.
Yeah.
And hitting and practicing. Right after that, I see Arina Sabalenka.
That's my son's favorite player.
And I'm sitting like right on the side of the court, 5 rows up, and watching Sabalenka hit that ball. And then
we went to the Cincinnati Open last year.
Oh, must have been. Mm-hmm. No, I have not.
It's even better than the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
It's a little smaller, but they're all there. And we got some great videos, and it's just because they're right there.
Oh my God. Amazing. It is. It just to be able to see that power, that pure power.
Yes.
And then right after that was Stefanos Tsitsipas. And I'm going, this guy has the skinniest legs and he has the power galore. How does he do that?
How tall is he?
Yeah, but he's probably about 6'2", 6'3", something like that.
He's not one of the giants.
No, not one of the big guys, but boy, he had just
John Isner.
Not like John Isner, no. Hitting the record aces in tournaments all the time. So that him and Riley Opelka, another one that's a big server.
Yeah.
And everything. But with that, I also interviewed one of the historian gals that actually works for Westside Tennis Club in Forest Hills. And so I ended up getting, and she kind of, when I interviewed her, she goes, when you make it to New York, let me know. I'll show you around. So I made it.
Wow.
I called her and she invited me and I went to Forest Hills, braved the subway all the way through. Great experience on the subway through New York. It was great. And it stayed in a hostel.
You mentioned the Tennis Hall of Fame there, and I finally went to it last year.
Oh, you did?
So neat.
Oh, I'm
so
sure.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and with all the rich history and all the stuff that is there that you get to see, like that are lost treasures that only tennis players would know about. With that. But anyway, I interviewed with her, and then she brought me up and she showed me the grounds of Westside Tennis Club, the clubhouse. She showed me the Bud Collins library that his widow gave to the Westside Tennis Club. I have a picture of him when he was at WCT in Dallas and doing commentary with Newcomb. And
wow.
And then I got lunch. And then I got a tennis hat. And then I also got to see UTS, Ultimate Tennis Showdown, an event. And that was all on Westside Tennis Club that day. So that was kind of that was kind of my monetary value of the trip right there. I don't get paid for this, but I do it for the love of it. But still, that was kind of my monetary value of it.
That's like us. That's what we do it for.
That's right. That's what we do it for the love of tennis there. So you YouTubers out there, you be sure and get out there and get out there, keep hitting the ball, and you like, subscribe, and comment. And then you podcasters, if you want to get in there, take a look at the racket I showed. Take a look at it on Tennis Volley Talk on my YouTube channel. So with that, what a wonderful interview with you today, and I so appreciate you being with me on my Tennis Volley Talk here with me today.
Oh, no problem. No, it's my pleasure to do it, and it's neat to learn all the things I learned just from hearing you on this podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Oh gosh, I just love doing it. It's for the love of tennis, that. It's in our blood forever.
For sure.
For sure. And be sure and reach out, and I'm here available to be interviewed, so keep that in mind.
I'm sure I'll give you a call soon and have you on our podcast.
That's it.
If anybody's listening, it is called the Texas Tennis Coaches podcast, and you can find it for sure on Spotify and I believe Apple. The co-host is the one that says all that at the end.
Oh, sure.
So I'm just kind of listening to her. But
Kind of,
I know for sure we're on Apple and Spotify.
Oh yeah,
and you can find it there.
Oh yeah, I think I'm on iHeartRadio. I once this loads up, and then I transfer it over to the podcast universe. So, that's kind of nice. And when I tell people about it, I tell them I have it on YouTube. But if you're driving down the road, bring up iHeartRadio and listen to my podcast. So, kind of cool that way. So
I appreciate you having me on. That's for sure, Brian.
Well, I so appreciate it, Ruben. And you get out there and take care, and we'll talk later.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you so much.
You betcha. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was it. That was such a good interview. It was really fun. Great interview with him, and such knowledge of how he grew up and playing tennis and everything. So everybody out there, if you get out there, if it's nicer weather, it's getting really nice here now. So get out there, play tennis, and then hopefully next week we'll get something else going. And everybody have a nice week. Thank you so much.